Out of politics and the woman who became a face of Americans struggling in this difficult economy. Velma Hart made headlines during a CNBC town hall forum back in September when she told President Obama she was tired of defending him and was worried about her future. Well, Velma Hart recently lost her job. We're going to talk to her in a moment. But first, here's CNBC's chief Washington correspondent, John Harwood. John, good morning.
Good morning, Carl. Velma Hart burst into the nation's consciousness by telling President Obama directly of her frustrations over the economy. But now we know she was under more pressure then than any of us knew.
This is the life Velma Hart told President Obama about this fall at a CNBC town hall.
And I'm one of your middle-class Americans. And quite frankly, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of defending you, defending your administration, defending the mantle of change that I voted for.
Hart became the face of the president's problem.
A black lady financial analyst veteran. We have found Obama's kryptonite.
The gap between the promise of his campaign and the reality of his presidency. The self-described finance geek was even signed up as a CNBC contributor. But she wasn't just exhausted. Privately, she was scared. The recession was threatening her nonprofit job.
But you had a secret.
When I was talking to the president on September 20th, I was thinking about that. But if you looked at our cash position, it wasn't very good.
Last Friday, Hart was laid off.
They called me in on a Friday afternoon and said that they had made a decision.
She still supports President Obama and worries he's been hurt by midterm elections. But now she has more immediate concerns.
Could it take me 2 years to find a job? Wow, that's a scary proposition for me and my family. But right now, I want to focus on the positive and be optimistic and assume that somehow things will work out.
John Harwood, NBC News, Washington.
The older girl had a good high school experience?
Now, as a finance professional, Velma Hart bases her optimism on data that tells her the economy is getting better. That's vital for her personally and also for the Obama presidency, Carl.
John Harwood, thank you very much for that. Velma Hart, as we said earlier, is with us now. Velma, good morning to you.
Good morning.
As John said in his piece, you've been the chief financial officer of this nonprofit for a while. You know the economy is bad. But I'm wondering, when you're called into that office and you're told that your job is being cut, are you prepared to hear anything like that?
I don't think anyone's ever prepared to hear anything like that. Certainly in this economy, you don't want to be out job searching. The beauty for me, though, and I truly was blessed in that I've been just such a help to many in my circle over the last couple of years who have lost jobs. I think in many respects, they help to strengthen my resolve and at least appreciation for what had to be done. And I'm grateful for that. I consider myself immensely blessed. I've told people that hundreds of times. I'm in a far better position than some people who are living through unemployment.
Right. Your husband does work, but you've got two daughters in private school. One's about to go into college. You seem relatively optimistic, but I'm wondering if privately, if you are scared.
As John said in the piece, and as I affirmed in a number of interviews that I've had so far, of course I'm scared. I don't think that anyone could be in a situation like this and not be a little uncomfortable. But I'm a person of faith, and I absolutely believe that things happen for a reason. I believe in the old adage, when one door closes, the window opens, and I'm waiting for my window opportunity.
You've obviously been a supporter of the president's for a while. You did some work for the Democratic Party during the campaign. If you had the chance to pose another question to him now, what would you ask?
Well, I think I've gotten a little shell shock of asking public questions. I do have questions, though, and I would be glad to ask them if I were ever given the opportunity. I think there are a number.
I am deeply
are you still a supporter of the president's?
And so grateful for CNBC.
My condition, I don't believe, is directly attributable to any individual. So I supported the president before. I support him now.
You've become something of a symbol, obviously, for people who are frustrated with the White House. And I'm wondering if you were prepared for any of that, and if you think it was worth, obviously, the disruption it's brought to your life so far.
That's actually a great question. I don't think anyone can prepare for this type of attention, especially when you think you're regular. You're just like everybody else. What I think I've decided to do seize the opportunity to speak for people who don't ordinarily get an opportunity to speak. I get messages and emails and even calls from people all over the country, and these last couple of days have been just wonderful. And I just want to interrupt for a second and say thank you to all of you who are trying to support me, lift me up, keep me encouraged. I appreciate it. I'm passing that on to people who I know who are also affected by unemployment, because I think that's very important. But I'm also trying in my small way, my small opportunity here, to pass on a message that affects everyone. Small businesses are being affected. My nonprofit community, which I love, is being affected. We all are just trying to struggle through this in the hopes that our political leaders and our business leaders will make good decisions going forward. I'm very excited about what's going to happen in January and hoping that people will get serious about leading this country.
Final question. Any of those phone calls involved a job offer for you?
People are approaching me, and I'm grateful for that. Ironically, I guess the Thanksgiving holiday, I just haven't had much time to act on those things, but I do plan to call people back and just, if nothing else, thank them for even considering me. So I'm hoping something good will happen, and I'm keeping my prayers up and my prayer circle active, and we're continuing to do what we do. I'm doing what everybody else in this country who's become unemployed is doing. I'm pulling my bootstraps up, and I'm going to go out and find a job. That's what we do, because we live in the here and now. We're in the real space, and we're not in some of the theater that's going on in our politics right now.
Velma, we wish you the best. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank
Velma
you
Hart.
so very much. I appreciate it.